Alrighty, the stream has started. I'm glad that's how we started this one.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask for a couple moments of like silence, that way I could get the audio synced up right for the podcast. But like, we're not gonna worry about that. I'll figure it out on the fly because I like the stream more, to be quite honest with you. So, hello everybody, and welcome to. Oh, I need to update stuff. Hold on one second. I forgot to update the stream settings. This is session 1. Hey, let's save that. All right, cool. There we go. Now it's updated.
That'll probably be good.
So everybody, welcome to the official first session of the final rule. As always, am your dungeon master, Glenn Underwood. You can find me on Twitter at MaytagOfficial. I'm very happy that you all are here joining me. And of course, I am joined by, you guys rattle off your names. Clay, you're going to be last.
I'm Chase at Cut to the Chase on Twitch. I do improv, acting, and just good old guy. That's me. Oh, and my character's name is Dorvis, since we have characters.
Yes, we do. Hey, Justin. All right, Vincent, do go next. Oh, he is frozen. Oh, no, there he goes. Hey, unmute yourself if you can. We're not hearing you, Vincent.
I heard a bunch of noise at once. That's why y'all didn't. I guess that's why y'all didn't hear me.
Yeah,
okay.
no, we hear you now. So, go ahead and introduce yourself, Vince.
Thank you. I'm Vincent. I do. I'm glad you like that, Glenn. Okay. Yeah, I've been doing improv for about 3-ish years now. I'm an actor. I've been playing D&D for less than 3 years, but more than Clay has. So I know some.
Yeah, there you go. All right, and Brendan, unfortunately, who plays Brooke Pendleton II, will not be joining us for this session, but should be here from the future sessions forward, from what I understand.
But in his place on my stream is a Pepe.
Yeah, and on my stream is a very sad face. And finally, speaking of not being here for a stream, one of our mainstays was not able to make it to the last stream, so I'm going to go ahead and have him introduce himself right now.
All right. Hi, I'm Justin. I've been playing D&D for about a year and a half now, pretty consistently. Not very much improv. Have done acting for high school, college, all that stuff. And I will be playing To Be Determined. Whenever Glenn tells me to make up a name, so we'll find out.
All right, there you go. Excellent. And finally, last but not least, we decided that one of the things that we're going to be doing to make this sort of keep the hey, by the way, it's me. Clay's echoing. That's me. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. I always forget to turn off the other thing. I appreciate it, Pantsless Lance, for letting me know that. And finally, last but not least, we decided that in order to keep sort of the improv fresh, because if it's going to be the same five of us sort of playing, eventually the sort of dynamic is going to sort of get stale with improv. That's sort of how it works sometimes. So we decided to kind of throw a wrench in our system by inviting a special guest artist on every single week in order to sort of keep things fresh, keep us on our toes. And this week we're really happy to have... go ahead and introduce yourself, Clay.
I'm Clay. I do puppet stuff, and I am a wrench.
There you go. And boy, what a wrench you are. And that...
Boy, yeah. So I've done a Improv 101 class, which I described as being left-handed and writing with your right hand. And I've never played D&D before. Wrench.
There you go. But Clay, where we all sort of live, Clay's a local artist. You can find him on Instagram at Beyond the Garage. He has a YouTube channel that we're going to talk about at the end as well. Ziggy and the Junkyard Band, where both Chase and I are voicing some of the puppets there. That's sort of how we know Clay. He's a phenomenal person. I think you guys are going to really enjoy him. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. And finally, before we actually get started playing today, let's go over the rules of improv one more time, that way we're all on the same page, right? We have 5 rules of improv that we're going to be following on this stream. One of them a little bit of a modification. And then finally we have, of course, the final rule that we'll be following. But the first rule of improv, somebody want to give it to me?
In improv, it's the thing you do.
I hate you so much, Jace.
Yes, I want to give the rule to you. Yes.
Okay.
I do want to give you the rule.
No, I was gonna say it. The rule is yes.
Yes, I'm giving you the rule. Oh,
thank you, Vincent. Thank you.
I'll give you the rule. Yes.
Okay.
I'll give you.
You guys have lost this opportunity to describe the rules, so I'm just gonna go through
So
them.
yes is the rule. I'm eating food right now.
Right.
You go ahead.
And
yes.
is the tool.
So you always want to be saying yes to things in improv. Anytime you say no, you're sort of denying the energy that someone's giving you, the gift that they may be giving you, which we'll get into in a second. But you always want to be saying yes to whatever is sort of being offered to you. Even better is if you can say yes and. So that's the first rule. The second rule is going to be give and receive gifts. So there's a difference between like walking up to somebody and being like, "Hey Vince, how are you doing today?" And walking just up to somebody and going like, "Hey Vince, I'm glad you got out of that fire last week."
What do you mean? I was drowning.
Yeah, there you go. But that sort of gives a gift that says like, "Hey, there was a fire last week," and then Vince's job is sort of to say yes to it, right?
I should say yes. Yes.
What
I did there was an example of saying no, and it kind of comes off weird when you say no like that, because now suddenly one of us is crazy, and that's not a fun thing to have to justify. Because then it keeps our characters from becoming deeper in that sense, and say we just have two crazy people, and the world isn't as established as we want it to be.
Exactly. The third rule of improv is, and this is a big one, work to the height of your intelligence. So it's really, really easy to fall into the poop and dick jokes whenever we're doing improv. So rather than doing that, we're going to subvert expectations and sort of always heighten the stakes and intelligence of what we're operating with. It's a lot more funny if you're being clever than it is if you're just trying to get a laugh, right? The fourth rule that we're going to be working with is no open-ended questions. But as a DM, I'm going to have to ask open-ended questions, and as players, you're going to have to ask me open-ended questions. So what we're modifying this is use descriptors is what we're going to be using as our fourth rule. So if you walk into a town, describe what you see there before I have to ask an open-ended question, right? Walk into a town and be like, I see like a massive red keep in the middle of it. I'm like, all right, cool. That gives me something to work with. That's a great gift to be given. And that's sort of what we're going to go with there. And I really should write these rules down, the way I'm not always doing them off the cuff. It's yes, work to the height of your intelligence, give and receive gifts, no open-ended questions, and make everyone else look good is the fifth rule. So a lot of times the tendency is in acting and in a lot of improv situations is to try to make yourself seem like the funniest person ever. And that's not really what we're trying to do here. What we want to do is make everyone else look like the funniest, most clever, smartest people on the face of the planet. If we can do that, we can... You're right there, Clay? Oh, he's written them down. Nice.
Oh,
I
hey.
appreciate that.
That's perfect.
Wow,
but if
he's
we...
better than all of us.
I know, right?
No, you're the new DM. That's it. You just beat D&D.
No.
But if
Glenn,
we
you're
all
doing
do,
great. Keep going.
If we all do our job of making everyone else look good, then we're all going to look like geniuses, and we're gonna have so much more fun. The audience is gonna enjoy it a lot more, and that's gonna be sort of the spiel as the 5 rules of improv. But there's one final rule, the final rule that we'll be playing with, and that final rule is going to be whatever the DM says goes. Right? Rule 0 for D&D. At the end of the day, because of the format that we're going with, somebody's gonna have to be a moderator and sort of decide whether or not and how things work. And that I want us all to sort of have that power, but in particular, I'm gonna have the final say. So that's the final rule that we're gonna be using for improv, is whatever the DM says goes. And of course, one more thing before we actually start playing, consent in role playing is very important to me, as well as I know a lot of us who are on this call right now. And at all times, I want us all to make sure that we're remaining safe. So if there ever comes a point where what we're describing or the situation that we're in becomes sort of triggering to you, anybody in the chat, or anybody who's with me on the video call, I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to sort of... You right there, Vincent?
Yeah, I'm looking for my... I have an X card.
Oh, you have an X card?
On a receipt. I wrote it on a receipt.
Nice. So at any point in time, if something like that happens and you find yourself sort of becoming overwhelmed or triggered, I want to give you the opportunity to give it in the chat. You can just post an X, and the X, as long as you're doing it genuinely, lets us know that we need to fade to black and move on to something else. Any of us, we can just raise up our X card or make an X with your fingers, and that tells me that, like, hey, exactly, there you go.
Here's my receipt.
Yeah, and that just basically lets us know that, like, hey, we need to move on. What we're doing right now isn't cool, and we will respect that, and we will do our best to comply with it. All right, so that's all the fun background stuff. It took us 10 minutes this time. We'll get it down to about 5 probably by the next time.
Please.
But now we get to the actual fun part of doing improvised D&D. And of course, as with all good improv, we need to start off with a suggestion. So suggestion is a one word that we can use in order to sort of riff off of. If we need another one, we'll ask for another one. Justin, you just keep changing sizes on my stream. I'm going to have to fix that in a second.
Me too.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking at Chase's stream right now.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, am
I
I.
see that now.
Why am I flying?
No, it's all right.
You are blurry, Justin.
But in order to get a suggestion, what we're going to do is Chase and I are going to look at our chats. Whoever types in the word first that we see, they're going to be our suggestion for the night. We're going to improvise based off of that suggestion. If we need another one, we're going to ask for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down from 3. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. Type in your suggestions now. Chase, let me know the moment you get it. Let me know. I'm watching too
right now.
Go, 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 go.
Suggestion, anything
any
you
word.
could possibly want, anything.
A heist. Heist is going to be our suggestion.
Heist is the suggestion.
Heist.
Oh,
all right, cool.
How are we going to go
Are we going to
from point
remember
A
the
to point B
cliffhanger
here?
from last time? The cliffhanger from last time and
Yes.
tie it into... Please. I so want to
Holy
see this
shit.
Jerry rig together. All right.
Okay.
This is going to be amazing.
So the last time we left off, we were exploring the
It was a pyramid.
right? And we discovered the beauty that was the musical. What was it? The pyramids at large, right?
The pyramids at large.
And the pyramids at large guided our heroes through this pyramid maze, and they found themselves in a room with 3 stone sarcophagi, which they then sort of kicked off and found them empty, and were finally bodily shoved into the sarcophagi, and the lids were put over them. So that's where we left off. That was sort of the cliffhanger at the end of the last episode. If you want more information, if you look up on D&D Beyond our campaign, The Final Rule, you should be able to find my DM notes where I have written a short summary of what has happened so far. Additionally, we are using the D&D Beyond extension, so if that's not working, let us know, but you should be able to click on any of the characters on the side and get their character sheets at any point in time. So with all that background information done, let's figure out how we're going to get a heist in here, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, let's do it.
All right, DM, work your magic.
You guys have been and then when I say you guys, I mean in particular right now, Dorvis and Walter were in these sarcophagi for what seemed like ever. Walter was spooning the dead body of Sage Broussard for hours on end, as he was shoved in there with him at the
He
end.
was kind of okay with it.
Yeah, you know.
After a while.
Just a little bit. Chase, you find that the sort of smell of a good aged wine, sort of that wafted out of the, it's starting to become stale now, as it mingles with your own body odor, having been stuck in a stone sarcophagus for hours on end.
I've ruined it. At least I have some in this bottle.
Exactly. You do have some of the original scent in the bottle, which I expect...
in a health pot, actually.
Yeah, because you poured out. Eventually, you start to wonder if you're going crazy, because you hear shifting sounds outside of the sarcophagi that you know that you are alone in this pyramid, but it is possible that it is morning time and the rest of the expedition crew has infiltrated the pyramid in order to try to get you out. Maybe the halfling woman, who was very upset with you all, finally came around and, was like, oh, those 3 idiots are off somewhere. They probably went into the pyramid. Let's go try to save them. Maybe rescue is at hand.
I'm sure she loves our shenanigans. Like, that's...
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
They all made it so clear, last time.
But eventually the sounds die down and the lids are not taken off the sarcophagi, and you begin to wonder whether or not this is the end for you. Especially as your breathing becomes more and more labored as the oxygen sort of dies down from the compartment. And just whenever you start to get into the delirium tremens of going insane, you see a crack of light appear in the corner of the sarcophagi lids. as you hear a familiar knocking noise.
Oh.
And then the lids fling off all the way to the side, and you get your first breath of like clean air in what seems like hours. And as you look up, you see a pale blue light sort of shining into the sarcophagi from the outside that were definitely not there whenever you guys entered there. It's so bright at first that it's almost blinding.
That needs to stop.
Please stop. 5
more minutes. Put the lid back.
And you know what you want to do, Dorvis? The first thing that you want to do, I feel like, is stretch out those long half-orc limbs of yours, those gangly half-orc limbs, right? But as you go to move your sort of body, you find that it is actually stuck in place in the sarcophagi, as if bound by magical bonds.
Ah, shit.
And the sarcophagi rise up from the floor, and you find yourself sort of in a semicircle of sarcophagi, just being able to see out of the corner of your eyes the other people who are in the room with you. So Dorvis, across the room you see Walter, and then there are 2 other sarcophagi that are in this room with you. You do not see Brooke. Wherever you guys have been transported, somehow Brooke did not make it. However, you do see 2 people that you are not familiar with in this room. And I'm going to go and have them describe physically what their characters look like. Hey, Justin, what does your character physically look like?
All right, so he is draconic he looks draconic in a sense. He has scaly skin, green, a bit of a dark green tint to it. He on top of his head, he has this really, really long, like, fin that goes all the way back from the top of his head down his neck. But the fin doesn't stick straight up. It kind of just falls over and hangs over one eye. And then he is also wearing some scale mail armor, and has, trinkets and doodads all up and down him. His scale armor is greenish in tint, similar to his own skin color, or scale color, I guess. And yeah, so that's about it. Very sharp white teeth.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, no, excellent. Thank you so much. And Clay, for River, why don't you tell me what River looks like? There you go. All right. So Clay went with the classic of yeah, go ahead.
That's pretty easy.
Chubby mountain dwarf, big beard, tattered clothes, also let's call it a utility belt.
Okay.
With semi-strange tools and a few weapons.
Okay. So all of you guys are sort of in this semicircle together. There appears to be no one else in this room. You are all stuck in these sarcophagi. I'm going to leave it up to you, Justin, and you, Clay, to sort of decide how you guys ended up in this situation. It's sort of similar circumstances to Dorvis and Walter at the end of the day, but like the particulars of which you can sort of fill in on your own, or don't as we sort of play through. But yeah, you guys are alone in the room with some strangers. Dorvis and Walter, how do you respond to this?
You have some really good teeth.
Yeah, I agree.
So bright. How do you get them so white? Honestly, I haven't brushed my teeth in ages. I've been using sticks and rocks, and it doesn't really do much good. What do you use?
Why do you talk so much?
Look, we're a little hilarious. We just got almost ejected out of these things. I'm pretty sure I'm kind of blind right now.
I kind of want to know. I mean, like, again, because this is a personal thing for me, I don't brush my teeth very often, and I'd like to figure out. I'm assuming you've been in there for hours like I have, and if they're still white after however long you've been in there, you're using some really good toothpaste or whatever it is.
Pure bleach.
Wow.
Straight bleach.
Yeah, and a little bit of acid.
I'll try that later. All right, cool.
All right, is everyone stuck? Because I'm certainly stuck in this.
I am very concerned that we're talking about his teeth.
Yeah, I can see why you would feel that way.
Understandable. Yeah. Hey, I like your beard though. We're gonna be talking about. Let's talk about you now. I mean, I figured.
Man, Walter, you're just trying to be friends with everybody. I can tell.
The detail about me that I'm most interested in talking about is not my beard.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll just go ahead, share. I'm here. I'm here to listen. What is it? Please.
Me too. It's not like I have a choice.
Can't move my arms.
Hey.
I'd really like to be able to move my arms.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, that's understandable.
All right. I'm gonna try to push against this sarcophagus. See if I can, maybe roll some athletics.
Yeah, go for it. Give me a good old athletics roll in order to determine whether or not you can break free of these magical bonds. So Clay, anytime that we want to roll, we're gonna roll a d20, right? And we can add whatever modifier is in your ability score on your character sheet. So if it says like +2 to athletics, right? You roll a d20, add 2 to the roll.
I'm going to describe in great detail what I'm doing whenever you tell me to do that to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Yeah, sounds good. But for now, Dorvis, go ahead and roll your athletics roll.
All right, I have an 11.
Is that an 11 total?
Yes, 11 total.
So you struggle, but those weak, noodly arms just, despite being a half-orc, just don't quite get the job done. You aren't able to break free of the luminous bonds.
I knew I should have gone to the gym.
Can I see the bonds on either myself or them?
No, you cannot actually. I know I just described it as luminous because I was making a Magic the Gathering reference. But they're actually quite invisible. They are actually quite invisible.
Quite invisible.
Yes.
So we're assuming it's magic that's binding us.
Yes, it's not like you guys are like physically stuck in the sarcophagi. Like
it's not
hypothetically,
a lock. It's not a lock I can pick.
Right. That's exactly correct.
I probably should have figured out what spells I have.
Yeah, probably. I gave you guys the player's handbook to do this, but we'll figure that out sort of as we go.
What kind of room are we in? If I look, is it a stone room?
I'm glad that you asked.
Or is this...
So the room is pretty pitch black. Even like it almost even for people who have dark vision, it is still pitch black, which makes you believe that it is a magical darkness that's only illuminated by what appears to be blue fairy fire, sort of dotting around pillars in the room. Not dissimilar to the pyramid that you guys were just in, the sort of Doric pillars that were on the four corners of the rooms. Very similar to those, but as far as what the walls are sort of decorated with, or like your immediate surroundings, you're not quite able to figure that out, you know? Yeah, so after a while, you guys are sort of sitting there, you're talking about various sort of, descriptors of each other, the teeth, the beard, and eventually a voice rasps through the walls, seemingly, and you hear, "Silence."
Well, that's rude.
We can't hear you right now, Vincent. So
we can talk about you if you want. It's
okay,
okay.
There you go. Yeah, you're back in now.
Like, I know we're talking about ourselves a lot, but like, I mean, it's how are you doing? How are you doing today? Are you doing all right?
You have trespassed on my sacred ground, and for that you must pay a price.
Wait, we trespassed? Hold on.
It's based on... A musical is based on this.
Yeah.
How I don't understand how we could...
The musical basically invited us in here by the little ditty knock, which I would show to you right now, but unfortunately I cannot move my hands.
There was also the song "Come Into My Pyramid." That was one of the songs in the musical.
That was like the first song, actually.
Honestly, yeah, that was the opening number. Come into my pyramid. And the finale of Act 1 was "Stay in the Pyramid Forever."
What are you guys talking about? A musical?
Yeah, the pyramid that large. I don't know if you heard it before. It won like 6 Craig Awards. Like, it was
Craig Awards. I'm gonna have to write those down. Okay. All right. The voice eventually cuts you off and says,
"The price you must pay is this."
And sort of like the lights sort of expand out, and you realize that the pillars that you're in are actually bordering on a stage that is sort of set.
Oh God,
and you realize
no.
that it is not necessarily that you guys are inside of a pyramid like you were before. You are actually on a stage decorated to look like a pyramid, having been transported to this stage, and the voice sort of rasps out,
"I demand entertainment. I demand to be paid in full for the debt that you owe me for trespassing in my ancient burial ground."
I remember this act of the musical because they brought actual people on stage, imprisoned them for a few hours. This is all part of the show, guys.
Okay, even though, yes, I did see that, I'm more of an audience member. I'm not really someone that should be on stage, you know.
If you do not pay the price in entertainment, you will pay the price in blood.
Oh.
All right.
Whose blood? Because I'm willing to negotiate that.
Hey, hold on, wait.
Hey, that's a good one. Hey, yeah, that's a good detail.
Well, I mean, we can't really do much. I mean, we're stuck in these sarcophagus thingies. So
You
I mean,
have your voices, and
Oh.
thus you shall sing. And the song you shall sing is the closing number from my favorite musical, The Pyramids at Large.
oh no.
The closing number titled, "You have stolen my artifacts, and now the heist for my heart."
I kind of remember the lyrics of this one.
Yeah,
I'm hoping I'm hoping we can all stay in sync for this one. I know that.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
remember. Very important was notable and won a Greg Award for a very innovative use of music because it was so asyncopated. It sounded like this thing was just singing either a second ahead or a second behind each other. It still sounded fantastic.
It wasn't my favorite, but you know, it certainly was nuanced, and I liked it. Okay, well, I guess we should get about singing this.
And it's one of the more avant-garde parts of the musical. But yeah, no, let's get started. We need a beat. You know,
so the voice comes in and says,
man. You know the
Famously, the Heist for My Heart song has one vocal percussionist and then a 3-part harmony, of which you shall all perform for me whenever I cue you in as the maestro.
all right, okay, yeah.
And
Wait,
a
who's
1,
gonna be the beat?
and a 2, and a...
Boom, ga, boom, boom, ga, boom,
You
ga,
have
boom,
stolen
boom,
my
ga,
heart
boom,
on
ga,
this
boom,
pyramid
ga,
heist.
boom,
Stolen,
ga,
Have
stolen,
boom,
my
ga,
heart
boom,
on
ga,
this pyramid
boom,
heist.
ga,
Pyramid heist.
boom,
Have
Pyramid
ga,
falling
my
apart.
Give it
boom,
back to
ga,
me now.
like my
Give
heart.
it back that
Everybody,
I can't live
boom,
without
everybody,
my heart.
boom,
Your heart,
ga,
because you
pyramid
kind of
is
took
gonna
it out of
fall
my
apart.
Silence.
and then the
I thought that
lights
was pretty good.
all come up, and then immediately you see that you're actually performing in front of a crowd of like spectral audience members who all go to clap, and their hands sort of phase through like their own hands, and so they just start cheering for you wildly.
That's some meta stuff right there.
And you feel the luminous bond sort of not the luminous, the invisible bond sort of like release off of your body as you like all fall forward like out of the sarcophagi, and like the all the specters, like as they're cheering, you know, like whenever they're getting up, they're applaud, like they're still trying to applaud. You get like a standing ovation. That was one of the best. That was maybe even better than the original the original what.
The one that won the Greg
one
Award.
that won the Craig Award, the Tovestown famous Craig Awards for the Pyramids at Large, like just golden replication of it, and they all sort of like vanish once like they go to turn, like pick up their coats and stuff like that. They all like head out of the theater space, and you guys are sort of left on the stage alone. The voice is nowhere to be heard. But yeah, you guys are free from your bonds as of right now.
Oh, okay. I was like,
that was really cool. Oh man.
Wow.
That was so uncomforting.
Yeah, I agree.
I did not like that.
Hey, what are y'all's names, by the way? All we do is talk about our beards and teeth. I don't know who you people are.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. My name's Dorvis.
All right. Dorvis.
Nice to meet you, Dorvis.
Hi, Dorvis.
I'm River. Does anyone have a clue as to how to get out of this haunted house?
We haven't done introductions yet. We're still high on Walter Tang.
Yeah. Hold on, River.
Hold, River, please be patient.
I hope you understand my hurry.
No, I mean,
I really don't.
Not really. No, we just performed for an audience, and now, I mean, I guess this is kind of haunted because they're ghosts that were just here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Performing made me very uncomfortable, but I mean, at least we're here now.
All right, and
so we'll get to your hurry in a bit. But you, Lizard Man, what's your story? Which can be just your name. It's okay.
Your name's
No.
Yeah, I understand. I'm close. I'm Walter. It's like it's kind of. I can understand the. Yeah.
All right, Dirt Boy, hold on. Just give the name's Gintorla.
Gintorla is what you just said? Can you spell that for me, Gintorla?
Kintora.
Okay.
K-E-N-N-T.
K-E-N.
Okay, K-E-N-N-T, yeah.
O-R-L-A-H.
Okay.
Kintorla, eh?
Kintorla. Welcome to the party, Kintorla. I'm going to update really quickly your name on my stream to reflect that. That way everyone knows who you are. And if you want to go and change that in Beyond as well to reflect on your character sheet, we're going to go ahead and do that as well. But we now have our full party available. You've all introduced yourselves, and sort of as you're doing this introduction, you hear the tapping of someone who sounds like they're wearing like tap shoes, like the very like distinctive like click hit of like like somebody walking out with tap shoes coming across the stage towards you.
I ready my staff.
You know how like Elvis impersonators, like they always wear that like white suit with the gold trim?
Yes.
So it's like that.
Yeah.
But imagine that, but more like Elvis if he were like an ancient Egyptian. That's sort of the best way to describe what the figure walking towards you is wearing.
That is amazing.
So how many?
And are they dancing towards us?
No. They're just wearing almost like platform shoes. Except for they're like undoubtedly there's some like metal plates on the bottom of it that if this figure decided to dance, you're sure they could like kick out like a wicked river dance, and it would be beautiful, you know, like clogging across the stage. Like it is really something, all right. But this figure comes out to you, and they go to start speaking, and they're like, "You have," and then like just
Jesus,
excuse me. Sorry, I'm just coming down off of a really bad chest cold, you dig? My name is Swift Johansson.
Swift Johansson, eh?
Swift Johansson. I know.
Yeah, you know me, Swift Johansson.
You wrote the book and wrote the Greg Award. It was nominated but didn't actually win. It was kind of a bummer. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I wrote it. I wanted to put everything on. I'm a producer, fairly famous around here, and it's really worth noting that this guy, like, clearly a lich, like very, very clearly like an ancient lich. Swift Johansson, definitely not real name, definitely a moniker. Like, just like imagine, like, almost looks like Asarak, right? That's like the really famous lich from D&D, from like Forgotten Realms. Looks exact, like just hollowed out face, almost like skeleton like. Wearing this like Egyptian Elvis outfit, and it's just like, you know, like giving you finger guns like all the way across, like as he's like coming towards you, He's like,
Don't-
I want to
point
let
those at
you
me.
guys
Don't.
know that was the best rendition of The Heist of My Heart that I have ever heard, and I think you guys can be stopped. I'm sorry for the unconventional methods in order to get you here, but I just wanted you to know that baby, I see stardom for all of you. That beat, River, that beat was fire. I just want to let you know that was the most lit thing I've ever heard. And like clearly, like he has no idea what most of this, like these words that he's saying are. He just like is trying to like be hip with like the modern lingo. He's like, that 3-part harmony, I couldn't have hit that if I had 2 other people that were just me, and we have the same voice. Like that was nuts, you guys. And I want to make you stars. And he sort of like looks and he's like waiting for everyone's response. Like he's wanting everyone to just be like, you got it, Swift. You're the man, Swift. Like that's what he's waiting for.
No, I'm good.
I'm with Earth Boy here.
Comfortable.
I mean, I've had my moment in the star. I sang in my favorite musical, The Pyramids at Large. So I think now I've peaked. There's really nowhere else I can go besides back in the woods with my bald head and my dirt eyebrows.
Yeah, it's really not my thing. The singing is, I don't like it.
Dorvis River, don't leave me hanging, babies.
Unless you're gonna put me back in invisible bonds, I'm gonna have to also pass.
You're a lich. That's all my characters say.
Hey,
Wait,
whoa.
wait, that's
let's not
rude. You
let's
can't
not
say
go
that.
around throwing out these words that we're
on.
not really, like
That's very
I'm not
derogatory.
comfortable.
Hey,
Exactly.
no, I wasn't. I just.
No. I know exactly what you were trying to do. You were trying to call me one of them. Hey man, liches are evil. I'm not evil. I just want to make I want to make some money.
Guy.
Hey man, not all liches are evil, man.
He does not reflect the rest of the
Well,
group.
there you go, throwing
I'll
around that
look
word
at him say
again.
that.
Hey now, like let's not call me a lich per se.
All right,
Let's call
what's
me
your preferred term?
an
How do
extremely.
you identify?
I am an experienced producer, a producer of the ages. Let's call me
Is that
a
the direct
super
object, or-
producer. I am a super producer.
A super producer.
Producer. Okay.
As much as I love the Pyramids at Large, I'm just not cut out for being on stage. I'm sorry. It just makes me really anxious. I'm surprised I got through that musical number. I guess it was just because my life was at stake.
Now,
Also, it's true.
I really didn't want to do this to you all, but you really have left me no choice here.
Wait, what?
And then
I think there are probably
he
choices.
is going to like raise up his hands, and
Wait, I thought you weren't evil.
he is going to no, yeah, this is the one I want. He like you all start to feel like magic starting to take over you. I need everyone here to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I wish Walter was more wise.
Oh, I have some good wisdom. Here we go.
That's good.
I got
I have it.
11.
I got an
Unnatural
11.
20.
You got a nat
Yep.
20, Dorvis?
No, unnatural 20.
Oh, unnatural 20. Okay, gotcha.
3.
3 of Vincent. Clay looks really happy. What'd you get, Clay?
I got a 20 minus 1.
Oh, but you hit a nat 20 though,
That's
right?
natural 20. Hey, yo.
Yeah,
So we
still
have
a natural
one-
20.
We have one crit. Okay, so Clay and Dorvis. You guys don't like you feel the magic coming onto this, but you manage to like shrug it off. For Justin and Vincent, or for Kentorla and Walter though, whenever whenever this super
The
producer
super producer.
says what he does is his eyes sort of go white for a second and start to beam out with light, and he says he's going to say the word dance, and you are overcome with the strongest urge that you've ever felt in your life to just bust out a dance number. Like you guys, you can't control your body. Like if you feel like if you don't like pull this off, like you don't feel like you have a choice. Like the groove is in your heart, right? You have to start doing something.
Is this dance called the auto, perhaps? Like, is this... Isn't that what that spell is called?
What?
Isn't that Otto's irresistible dance? Someone's irresistible dance?
No, that's there's Dance Macabre, and that's not what's happening here.
Okay.
It's next level shit.
Yo, this super producer is insane.
I look once I see that everyone's dancing and I'm not and River's not. I look to River and I just go, "We got to do something."
Yeah, I would like to. You know what? When I see the other two start dancing, I also start dancing. But I'm desperately looking around the room for literally anything to make this stop.
Okay. So Dorvis, you're currently the only one not
with my
dancing.
heightened perception.
Yes. Okay. So Dorvis, you notice that everyone else is dancing except for you, Dorvis. And
Sorry, buddy.
You notice that you're drawing the attention of Swift. Like Swift is starting to look over at you. Like
I look around for a minute, look at him, and then I start to dance, but I dance terribly.
Okay.
I dance absolutely I don't dance good at all.
Yeah. All right. So so Swift seems very happy with the fact that everyone's dancing. River, you're looking around. You notice you're a mountain dwarf. You have some like architecture skills underneath your belt, right? You in particular, you have the ability to if you study a piece of stone, I believe you can sort of like get certain information out of the like how it's hewn and stuff like that.
Yes.
I believe that's an innate ability of mountain dwarves. So
they can know the history and stuff from structures and stones.
So while you're looking around at the structure, you realize that everything it sort of clicks for you. Like, oh, none of this is stone. Like some of it looks like stone, and some of it's very convincing. But the more you look at it, you're like, this isn't stone. These are all like stage flats. These are all like none of this is real. If I manage to knock down one of these pillars, we might provide enough of a distraction to break Swift's concentration, and you all might be able to get out of here.
Yeah, I would like to dance my body towards the pillar, and then hurl my brick-like dwarf body at the pillar.
Okay.
To try to knock it over.
Okay, sounds good.
I love it.
I'll say, give me a perception roll real quick.
Sorry, where's my perception +3. Hey.
I feel so uncomfortable.
All right, so that's a 2 + 3 is 5.
So 5. All right, you don't.
I'm living. It's okay.
In which case, what I was rolling was to see if you saw which pillar was the weakest, like which one would have the most likelihood to go for. So because you couldn't figure it out, I'm going to roll a d4 for each of the 4 pillars. One of them is going to be weak. The other 3 are going to be harder to break. I'm going to arbitrarily decide which one right now. All right, give me an athletics roll.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's a natural 20, and my athletics is.
That's just a natural 20.
Yeah, it's just a nat 20. You crit.
+4.
Yeah. So in D&D there are 2 special rolls, which is if you crit, which you roll a natural 20, something special happens in a good way, and if you crit fail, which is a natural 1, something happens in a bad way, right?
Oh. Nice. Okay.
So you crit succeeded. So you dance your way over to a pillar. Like you guys notice that Swift is starting to dance too. Like you start to hear the tapping going on the floor. Like Swift is getting into it, and you realize he's about to start making somebody's about to start making he's about to start making his big villain speech towards you about like, hey, this is the way that things are gonna roll here. You know, like you guys work for me, blah blah blah. And then suddenly you guys all just hear a crash as River shoulder checks one of the pillars, which falls directly onto Swift. Nails him, just completely falls over. But here's the thing, right? These pillars aren't made of solid wood. They're not trunks that are in here. They're mostly a facade. So it hits him and sort of bounces off of him. It's almost made of a cardboard material, maybe composite wood, you know? Pressboard is what I was thinking of. Or Luan, you know, and it hits him and sort of bounces off of him, but his eyes go back to their regular color, which are sort of a milky blue, and everyone sort of stops dancing. The effect wears off, and you all realize simultaneously hey, it's time to go. Wherever we are, it doesn't matter. Get out, you know.
Just running. I'm running.
All right.
I would also like to run.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
So he's stunned.
Yes.
So, Oh no,
Walter, what are
don't
you
do
gonna do?
it. Walter, don't do it.
Well, what's he wearing?
What's he wearing?
It's the Elvis costume, right?
Yes, it's the Elvis. Yes, it is. It is an Egyptian Elvis costume.
Cape and all.
What was that?
And with the cape, I take it.
Yes, with the cape as well.
I want the cape.
You're gonna take the cape?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the cape.
All right, give me a sleight of hand with advantage.
Please, oh please.
And Clay, just so you know, terminology: advantage and disadvantage are granted by like status effects and like situations. Advantage means you roll a d20 twice and take the higher number. Disadvantage means you roll it twice and take the lower number.
That's a 16.
Gotcha.
16 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you get the cape. You have a white cape with gold trim, with like some nice
Holy
like blue
shit.
beads, sort of like on the tassels of it. It's a really nice cape, and but you
Good.
notice that like whenever you take it, Swift's eyes sort of like immediately like lock on to you, even though he's still like sort of regaining his senses. He's nobody touches the cape, baby.
Walter, run!
Yo, I'm putting on a bolt out of there.
All right.
Yeah, so we're in a theater, right? So
Yeah.
there's obviously like places where an exit normally would be.
Yes, there are exits on the wings and also like back of house.
So yeah, closest exit, just gonna book it out.
Yeah. So the closest exit for all of you would be one of the wings. I assume you all sort of head in the same direction.
Stage left.
Stage left.
Stage left.
So the stage left wing, the house
Yeah,
right
yeah,
wing.
yeah, sure.
All right, you guys all just like book it, you know, like you're running stage left. You all sort of like dive through the door, and like there's a weird sensation that you feel whenever you like swing open the exit doors, and sort of like bolt out, because you exit, and then it's very like it's like a relatively cool temperature in a theater. You know, like most theaters are like cooler than the outside because there's so many like bodies in the room, you know, like they have to keep it relatively cool because if it's too warm, like it just becomes unbearable in there. So you go like it goes from cool to being like swelteringly hot.
Oh god.
As you burst through into the great desert of Grendel. And then you hear stone doors shut behind you.
This reminds me of the song. Oh look, there's sand. There it is.
You know, that was one of the. I kind of forgot that one, but yeah, that reminded me. There was that song. It only had one note.
It really did. It was just. Sorry, we're getting off track here. Let's go.
Yeah. So you Dorvis and Walter, you both notice that like you know exactly where you are. You can literally see the base camp like in the distance. It's morning time in the desert. It's still a little bit chilly outside. Like it's hot, but not too hot yet. It's not quite sweltering. And as you sort of bust through, you see a very like frazzled looking halfling woman, the same one from before, wearing the plate armor. Except for she's not in plate armor. She's wearing just like casual clothes. As she sort of approaches the pyramid, and she sees you guys like literally like all like fall out of the doors, and it shuts behind you. And she just looks and says, "What on earth do you think you were doing in that pyramid? And where is Sage?"
We need to run now.
Sage put us on a very important side mission. Sage couldn't join us at the moment. He's still in there, you know, doing his own thing. He's, you know, just being Sage. You know how he is. He wanted to take some extra time in there. Didn't want us meddling in his affairs because we're you know terrible troublemakers. That's who we are, troublemakers.
We saved these two people wherever they are.
Yeah, we saved these two.
And who are these two?
I don't know.
Well, they have names.
Who are you?
That's a hold on. She's a. This is a company.
Hey, look, it's two more recruits.
Yes.
My
all
name.
for the company.
My name is Sharon Shortley, and I don't remember seeing any of you in our exploration party.
Oh. Any of us are just.
I
those-
wasn't. I was pretty freaked out, to be totally honest with you, to wake up in a sarcophagus.
A sarcophagus? What were you doing sleeping in a sarcophagus?
Well, it
That's
wasn't
a
willing.
great question.
You did kind of get captured. Sort of.
But we got out.
Not there
Dig it out.
Look,
at my own will.
We will talk about all of this whenever you all get back to base camp. I'm gonna go look for Sage. How do we get these doors open?
Oh,
Well,
like this.
I
don't think we should open the doors.
Also, Sage.
I would also suggest not opening the doors.
I suggest
Glenn,
don't open the doors.
I already knocked on the door.
Hold on one second, guys. So Dorvis already knocked on the door. However, this time the runes do not light up. The door remains shut.
Oh, they must have changed the code.
It's a security feature.
Get back to base camp.
And then Sharon's gonna like continue to examine the doors as you sort of like sort of begrudgingly make your way back to the camp. And especially Kentorla and River, I mean, there's no other signs of civilization anywhere around in the middle of the Great Desert of Grendel. Like, you might as well, like, there's at least food and water there, you know?
I'll be happy to walk towards food.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll follow, yes.
What she was and what you guys were doing.
What?
Wait, what?
I would love to know who she was and what you guys were doing.
Oh,
So
I don't think it's what I was doing.
We were both took by this company. Don't remember the name again. To explore and to conquer. I think God's glory and gold, one of those things. And Dorvis was taken against his will, not necessarily against mine, because I just kind of showed up. Well, they said come, and I said sure, why not? I didn't want to, but I did not want to. So I mean, it was all right. Pretty fun.
I'd honestly be anywhere than
In
that
forest.
camp. I'd rather that.
I mean, I was nowhere near here. I was. What?
You were in a forest?
Yes.
I mean,
I was in the forest.
Super producers have some real power. You can't really mess with.
Wait, Walter, what was that?
Super producer.
The super
Super producers have really strong powers, I guess. I mean, they can do some kind of transportation stuff.
Yeah. Was there a pyramid in the forest?
No. And I hate the sand.
Well, you're in it now, buddy.
I don't like being this far away from an ocean myself, but if there's food and water at base camp, I'll follow you guys there.
Yes.
Let's go.
All right, so everyone sort of makes their way back to base camp. It's sort of alive and thriving, not like it was last night whenever everybody sort of buckled down, except for the Dorvis, Walter, and Brooke. And you notice a couple of people. We talked about them sort of last time.
Oh no.
We at the camp, you see Jeremy Southdown. He's sort of hanging around there. He's gonna be a half elf who's sort of like he's a bard. He plays tunes by the campfire most nights. Last night he was really tired. His voice was a little bit hoarse. He didn't want to perform. Bumpkin Boniface is there. Bumpkin, but you don't really know what Bumpkin does or anything like that. Bumpkin's just sort of like there on the party. Like, he might be a guard. You don't really know. Like, Bumpkin's just sort of like always hanging around, stealing people's food, like always asking for extra portions. Like, really just being a real like nuisance around everything. And then of course Walter, somebody that you know very well, and that's Timmy Tilvistown, the Tattletale. Yeah, he tagged along.
I hate that guy.
I know you do. He tagged along. Timmy Tilvistown's there. Everyone's sort of just like getting their breakfast, getting ready to explore that pyramid, you know. And you know what, Walter? Timmy notices you walk up. And Timmy's gonna saunter right on over to you. And he looks around and he goes, "Hey man, like I just wanted to let you know that I noticed that you were missing this morning, so I went ahead and I told Sharon, and everyone was gone, and like I saw you last night going towards the pyramid. Like I didn't want to be a snitch or anything, but like I was worried for your safety, and you know, you and me, Walter, we're real tight. You know, Walter and Timmy, you know, the classic duo.
No.
I just wanted to make sure that you were safe, you know, man.
Very hard. I say. Also, this is a note to everybody else that like reminder that I have no clothing except for like pants and a bed sheet, which is why I sold the cape. So I say, you know what, Timmy? I appreciate you for helping. And it's my only cloak. I'm keeping the cape. I'm giving him the bed sheet that I was wearing. Here, it's just for you.
Walter, Walter, I just want to let you know that I will never forget this. I will keep this cloak like the rest of my life. I'll pass it down to my children. They'll know about the great Walter Tang. And man, I just want to let you know that you're right here. You're right here to me, right, Walter? Right here, always.
Okay. All right, Timmy.
Yeah, that happens. Timmy sort of like salutes you guys and like walks off to like go annoy some other people.
I hate that guy. I hate that guy so much. God, I hate him.
You see that the cook
I've never watched that sheet once. Never watched it. I hope he gets
that's disgusting.
He seems like a bit of a nuisance.
I'm gonna grab some sand, spit in it, and draw my eyebrows back on or whatever.
Yeah. Your eyebrows are now like slightly slanted down because you just interacted with Timmy, so like they're like angry now.
I draw angry eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. You guys walk back to base camp. The cook is already cooking some like food for you guys, some like dry provisions. Sort of it's sort of like a grits for this morning, like a sort of like hominy like blend of stuff, you know.
Food.
Yeah. It hasn't been too long since you guys eaten. Like it's still breakfast time for you, and you guys had dinner the night before.
But we thought we were in there for decades.
Yeah, you guys did have a very successful Tilvestown Way run, I guess. Tilvestown Way? Yeah, we're gonna call it the Town Way, right? That's where a lot of new plays premiere, is the Town Way of the sort of Town Way circuit. Starts in Tilvestown, sort of goes along the edge of the desert that's in the middle of Grendel. You guys can say that successfully that you were better than Craig Award-winning performers of the Townway circuit. So
yeah, nobody's gonna believe us.
Yes, who's gonna believe us? Exactly. A super producer told us that, and he's very angry that I took his cape. So I mean, I don't know.
You have his cape. If someone knows who he is, then maybe.
He'll never vouch for me though. Is the problem? Like I have a connection, but it's not a good connection. It's like I did the opposite of good networking.
I mean, all networking is good networking. Let's be honest here.
I mean, not with this
knows
super
you.
producer. He knows me and he hates me.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll never be a Silversway performer, Townway performer again. Like that's it.
He really just kind of hates you. I mean, he kind of is okay with the rest of us.
No, I mean y'all can go ahead and like y'all can use that connection. That's okay. But like I'm keeping this cape, and I kind of want more of his clothing. But that's to be said later. That's
all right.
Yeah, you really should have got his shoes.
Right, I don't have shoes.
So you guys, yeah, there you go. You don't have shoes, yeah. Does anybody here have shoes? I feel like River has shoes.
Yeah, bro.
I have
got good boots. Good boots.
I don't have shoes. It's really hard to find shoes that fit over claws.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Are your feet not burning on the sand? And you too, Walter.
I'm completely on my bedroll. I do not like the sand.
Hey, Katorla, are Dragonborn like cold-blooded?
Uh-oh.
No, they're not cold-blooded.
No, you don't think so? You don't think you have to like go bask on a rock like every?
No,
like,
I don't.
No, that's lizard folk. That's lizard folk.
That's lizard folk.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
I don't have a tail. That's.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoever this voice in my head is.
Yeah, like half dragons as well. I guess would also have to be.
I turn and I say, "Hey, where's your tail? Don't you like bask in the sun or something?"
Damn.
Don't test me, Earth Boy.
No. I mean, I'm not. Don't take me as like some kind of a racist, but like.
He's really not trying to be.
I kind of want to know why. Like that's all. Like that's.
I'm not a lizard.
You're not a lizard.
Not a lizard.
At all.
I'm a humanoid. I'm a humanoid with scales for my exterior.
Right.
I want to roll perception for the nearest lizard.
But they also are humanoid, but they have a tail. You don't have a tail.
No.
So I'm wondering, did you get? Because I know some lizards when they chop off the tree, or it grows back, or they chop it off on purpose to escape from a predator.
I got a 4.
Like,
You don't notice any lizards, Dorvis.
I was about to do something funny, but
and like, is it gonna grow back, or like, is this just not?
I never had a tail, even as a child. No. My mother never had a tail. As father never had a tail. I don't have a tail. It's.
Oh, does it like skip a generation?
No, it's not a thing. It's not a thing.
What is that? Is this a recessive gene something in your pool? Like, is this something that
it's not.
Cousins might have? But
no,
you
it's
don't
not even
have?
recessive. It's not recessive either. No dragon.
How do you know that for sure?
Ever had tails? Because I think I would know about my own race.
Okay.
Well, you didn't have to be so angry about it.
At about this point,
Hey, man,
while
I'm trying to be racist.
Walter's going around his second, specious racist tirade of the campaign so far.
I want one every week. Let's go.
Every week.
Sharon's gonna come up to everyone sort of and like gather, sort of like signal for everyone to gather around. So all of the people, all the guards in the caravan, all the merchants in the caravan, people who are like looking for like, you know, glory and artifacts and stuff like that, knowing of course that the Rosemary Corporation, who is sponsoring this expedition, gets 15% of everything that's found. You can tell that Sharon's approaching to not talk about anything that's been found, but rather to talk about something that's been lost. And that, in this case, is going to unfortunately be the unofficial sort of leader / representative of the Rosemary Corporation, which was Sage Broussard, who I
didn't really like him anyway. He intimidated me.
Yeah, well, Sharon's gonna walk up to the group and just with like a really somber expression be like, okay, everyone, I regret to inform you that as of the latest field reports, and she sort of glances at the 4 of you.
I wave.
And she doesn't wave back. In fact, she is the farthest. Oh no, no amount of waving is going to get her to wave back at this point. She sort of like looks over and goes, I do not think that this expedition can continue, as our only representative from the Rosemary Corporation, who was not meant to explore, appears to have gone off on his own and found himself in trouble that we cannot save him from. This pyramid appears to be impenetrable. I know of no way in besides the front, and the front is sealed through magical means, and I know not of a way to get in. Unless anybody has any other information to report. And she looks over at the 4 of you again.
Maybe we need to watch next season of the Pyramids at Large. Maybe they'll change the musical.
The dwarf who's raising his hand.
So I was here to steal things, which I really feel like you guys are just doing it in a more organized way. And I may know about something, but I'm very interested in seeing how I don't really care about as to what might be.
All right. So, are you trying to tell me that you may know of another way in here, or?
Yeah. Well, I got in a different way than those guys did.
Oh.
I don't remember him being behind us when we walked in.
I don't know if I want to go back in there, guys.
What is your name, dwarf?
Well, I do want more of the clothing, so I mean,
Oh God.
My name's River, and it's nice to meet you guys, and I appreciate the lunch. But so far, everything that happened inside of that pyramid was horrible. I'm not real excited to go back in. I was forced to beatbox against my will.
If we go back in, we have to remember there's a super-ducer in there, and he'll probably try to kill us. Maybe because
he's not a lich though. We said he's not a lich.
Can you stop saying that word? You're not allowed to say that word. That's I mean,
we're outside now.
They're reclaiming that term, and you can't just say it. Well, I know there aren't any in your.
So she's gonna sort of like
I mean,
wave
you can't just
off.
go around saying that. All right, it's not.
She's sort of like kind of like no. Hey, everyone, settle down. If there's a chance that we can save Sage, we need to go in there and save him.
Oh, there's no way we're gonna have a chance to save him.
What do you mean?
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah. No,
Wait.
he's
Wait.
What?
No, he's not. He's not
What do you?
dead.
No. What do you mean? You said that he was in there of his own accord. You saw him, so you were the last people to see him alive.
did see him alive. So, see, that's the thing I don't remember is that I remember seeing him alive, and now I remember seeing him dead. It's complicated. I remember.
We're pretty sure he's dead. Like maybe we didn't really see
he was
him
dead.
right, guys?
I spooned his dead body for God knows how long.
He did.
So
then again, we saw a lot of dead things that were apparently alive in there. So
that's like the super producer might have been dead at one point. We don't know for sure. That's not our case to make. But like,
it's all specters,
Did see some specters? That's true. Did we see him among the specters?
So you don't know how he died.
Well, I mean, it could have been.
No, it could have been anything. The weather, maybe.
It wasn't our fault. That's for sure.
Well,
I mean, he was.
Here's the thing, then. He had the only written record of any contracts that any of us had, as he was our sole representative from the Rosemary Corporation.
Wait.
So I
don't
cannot
I still have
actually enforce. Do you still have that, Dorvis?
I mean, I took it from him.
Okay, you have it. You have it in your inventory.
Oh God. Wait, I'm gonna listen to what she says to see if I should take it out.
Because I do not have any written record, I cannot hold any of you to this binding contract anymore. I suppose you are all technically free to go about your business, leave the great desert of Grendel, and go about your own business and lives.
Wait, you still what, Dorvis?
I have the paper in my pocket. I
Dorvis,
took it from him.
Dorvis, why destroy that? No, you don't like being here.
Dorvis, Walter, what are you speaking about? What are you whispering about over there?
Just that it's hot. It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Well, that was one of the songs of Heroes at Large. Also, it was one of the shorter ones. They would do.
Dang, it's hot. Look at me.
It's hot.
Well, I'm burning.
Oh man, it's hot.
It is hot.
Yeah.
I know. I love that song. I saw it opening night 3 times. I saw it opening night and then a couple weekends after. Believe it or not, my brother's actually one of the people who won the Craig Awards for best supporting actor in Pyramids at Large. Yeah. It's crazy, sort of how that all works out. Yeah. Anyway,
we're talking about nothing.
It's neither here nor there. Without this contract, then I suppose I am forced to let you all go. The Rosemary Corporation no longer owes you anything, and you owe the Rosemary Corporation nothing, except for Walter. What is that you have on your person? I don't recall you ever having that before.
Oh, he did. He totally did.
Okay, give me a deception. Give me a deception roll, Dorvis.
Wait, hold on. This is
I'm trying to help a brother out here.
I'm also trying to figure out.
I'm rolling deception.
I want to.
Oh
also,
shit! I've got a -2.
If that fails, I want to be trying to convince.
Okay.
It's like charisma.
I have a 15.
You have a 15 -2, or is that 15 total?
No. It is a 15 total.
Okay.
It was.
All right. So she looks and she says, "Did you? Is that what color your cloak originally was? I noticed you never washed it before. I guess you took the time finally to sort of scrub it out, and it's a really beautiful cloak once you get all the dirt out. I suppose must have taken you all night."
Ooh. I worked really hard in that pyramid. Oh man.
All right, I suppose this is goodbye from all of us then. You may take the mounts that you were given and return to.
And while that's going on, I'm like ripping up this piece of paper. Just like...
Does she not see it?
She has a really low passive perception, is what I'm gonna rule here.
Okay.
So
I'm just ripping it as many pieces as I can.
She's going to return back to the pyramid to just make entirely sure that there's no way that she can get to Sage, because she is one of the lead guards on this caravan, and this unfortunately sort of falls to her. But you guys are now, the contract that you signed or were forced to sign is now completely moot. Brooke's nowhere to be found, and now it's just it's Kintorla River, Walter, and Dorvis in the middle of a desert that is ancient and deadly.
Are there any mounts that we could possibly...
I'm gonna go try to claim one of the wagons.
Okay.
For us, see if I can go over there and just sit on it and see if nobody else tries to take it.
I'm gonna go.
See
with them.
yells at you.
I'm gonna go with them because we're gonna. I wanna.
Yeah.
Guys, let's just go grab one of those wagons and get out of here. I don't like being in this desert anymore.
Maybe I can call on a sandworm. Maybe we can get a little ride out of here. I don't know if I can actually do that.
No, you cannot do that. You are a level 1 druid, my friend.
I'm a level 1 wizard.
A wizard, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a druid.
Yeah,
Watch out.
you and Brooke are druids. Okay, so you guys all sort of pile into this wagon, and you like go inside of it, and you realize that it was one of the like wagons that was empty to sort of like take loot back to Tilvistown whenever you guys the expedition was sort of finished. So like nobody checks inside of it because they know that nothing's in there. So eventually like the horses are hitched up, and you guys take off in the opposite direction.
Fantastic.
And you sort of just like hang out in the back of this wagon for
Yeah.
we're gonna say it took you. Did I say last session how long it took us to get to where we were in the desert? We're gonna say that it took you like a week.
So it was
What did I say? About a week?
I think you said a couple weeks.
A couple weeks?
Yeah, I think you said a
long
couple
time.
weeks on the stream. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna say like it takes a couple weeks. You guys have enough provisions in your in your packs, your various packs to sort of make it. Yeah. To like this long, and you guys just sort of hang out. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the time that you spent in the back of this caravan. We're not gonna go for weeks in the back of this caravan. I'm gonna say something is going to happen to interrupt the caravan on its trip back. But until then, I'm gonna give you guys each. You are allowed to have one topic of conversation. And that topic of conversation is going to be once again a suggestion from our audience as far as what it is that you guys talk about for this week. So on the count of 3, you guys can type in the audience your suggestion. We're gonna read the first one that comes out, and that's gonna be the
stream
topic
chat.
that we're gonna in the stream chat. Ready? So 3, 2, 1. Give us a suggestion, chat.
Anything.
Anything at all. Once we get that suggestion, Chase or I was gonna read it out loud, and then we're gonna improvise around that for a little bit, and then we'll talk about what happens. Okay,
Favorite
so
Townway musical.
favorite Townway musical. So you guys are all. That's our topic of conversation. Is your favorite Townway musical? So whoever starts that conversation off, this is what you guys talk about in that week that you're traveling in the caravan, hiding in the back of a wagon that's empty that no one thinks to check.
Guys, I really, going through that whole thing, the pyramids at large, really made me reminisce about, all the plays that I've seen and musicals and all that. And
Yeah.
do you guys remember that one play? What was it? It was
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It was.
just
the one
by the way I'm moving my hands.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Like,
Because
like when they did
because there was a lot of this in the play.
There's a lot of
is what it
this.
was.
No, you
There was
get
a lot,
me.
because it was a show that was half puppetry, half because you had people doing this to puppets, and
Right.
you had the puppets doing this to people as well. It was like
They were like really going at it.
It was one of the first plays where puppets and
Are you trying to describe Hedwig and the Angry Elf?
Hedwig and the Angry Elf. That's
Yes, Hedwig and the Angry Elf.
Oh,
You guys.
that was a good play. That was a fantastic piece of art right there. Hedwig and Angry Elf.
So fantastic. Jeez. Well, see,
Man,
that one, he had a lizard person, and he had a tail. So,
There had a tail.
That was a horrible stereotype that deserves
Honestly.
to die in this day and age.
Lizard folk do have tails, so I mean it's not a stereotype.
You're not a lizard
but-
folk?
No,
Oh
I'm
God.
a dragonborn. Is
you're a dragonborn. Where's your
different.
tail?
Yeah, where's your tail?
I hate this so much.
There's one part where we were like, why is Walter such a racist? And then like,
I think we're just terribly oblivious.
that might be it.
Wait, Hedwig,
Okay.
Hedwig and the Angry Elf. That
Yeah,
sounds
Hedwig
familiar.
and the
I
Angry
think
Elf.
I kept getting scrolls on my front porch every morning for like a month,
Oh, you too?
advertising that. Yes, I was very angry, and
I just kept getting delivered that mail, honestly. Like, every place I went to, they somehow found me. I didn't think my subscription would reach that far, honestly.
I didn't have a subscription was the thing. Like it just showed up, and I never went to a show to.
I guess they assumed you'd just like it. I don't know.
So new canon thing. Townway has magical like advertisements. So like no matter if they think that you're like you'd be interested in one of the musicals that's currently on, like they have like familiars, like pigeon familiars that fly out and like magically seek out people and like drop them off like the programs for shows. Like, hey, just so you know, like Townway has this new musical, Hedwig and the Angry Elf. I think you'd really enjoy it.
This is some Black Mirror stuff. This is like 15 million merits. Like,
I mean, that was the first play I saw was Hedwig and the Angry Elf. Honestly,
the weirdest thing was I was just walking by people and people would be talking about it all around me, and then I walk into the shop and then there were pigeons everywhere. I mean, with the Hedwig and the Angry Elf just popping up everywhere. Just no matter where, whatever shop I went to, they would just be popping up, and I was getting sick and tired.
Oh, they were probably on tour.
Yeah.
I don't want to admit this, and when I was in high school, I was one of the leads in Hedwig and the Angry Elf, but unfortunately there weren't any elves that were in the school, so
were you Hedwig or the elf?
I had to put on elf face, and I'm not proud of that.
Oh, man.
No! It was some
Was it?
Oh no!
Was it the 80s? I mean, really, you know, in the 80s, didn't everybody put on elf face?
That doesn't make it any more okay.
Oh no!
It was a bad time. It was a bad time, honestly.
Oh man.
Oh no!
I do have to admit though, the Angry Elf was probably my favorite character. You know, he just really added a lot of depth. He was just like, I'm angry. Yeah. Look at me. You know, I resonated with that character. You know, it gave me that angry outlet that I really didn't have. You know.
Glenn, you see an X yet?
I have not seen an X yet. No.
No, I'm beginning to realize how terrible I am.
But hey, Walter, the first step is realizing that you are terrible and you're gonna fix it. So you know, first step.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a 12-step program.
So that was our favorite Townway musical bit. That's the bit that we just did. I hope you're all very proud of it because that's what we're sticking with. So
apologizing in the chat. Someone said,
I'm so sorry.
No, I think that's Lucas. I think that's Lucas saying so sorry.
Oh my God,
Lucas. Okay, so after about a week, you guys talk about various things. Walter comes to like the stunning conclusion. He's like, "Oh no, it's let's say if we'll say it was like 980 AGE, right? So 980 after the Grendel establishment. The establishment of the continent of Grendel, or the country of Grendel, once it was established, this is 980 years after that, was whenever Hedwig and the Angry Elf premiered. It is now currently 1010 AGE. So it has been 30 years, I'll say, since
that is a long run in play.
It didn't run for that long. No.
Eventually... It's in high schools now, so clearly it's done its run.
It's had its Townway glory run. People realized the problems with it. Backers pulled their finances out of it. You know, it was a whole thing. Investors decided to shut it down. It got replaced by some other plays.
One of the larger problems was that there weren't a lot of elves that could be cast. Elf face was just the thing. Everyone did elf face, and that was.
However,
I never met anyone that did this.
We're not going to talk about the ethical quandaries of elf face right now. That's not what we're going to do. Like, that's not what this stream is going to become.
I don't know.
So Walter's sort of like, he's trying to like fight with himself, like justify, because he has no justifications. Like, it's 1010. Like, people are more like, first Walter's like, guys, it's 1010. Like, people are just more sensitive about that sort. Like, it's just people being sensitive, and then a couple of you guys just like shut that down immediately.
Whoa.
And it's like, oh, okay, Walter, maybe you need to reevaluate some stuff in your life. And like, now Walter, you're like kind of you were starting to like spin into like an existential crisis of like your performance career and like how much have you done more wrong than good. Like, it's a whole cycle.
Agents told me I was the best person in elf face ever, and then I'm a worse person now. Like, people summer performance in high school, and we're like, hey, Walter, you did a great angry elf. You embodied the elf characteristic, and it's just they just keep throwing out stereotypes that I embodied in the show, and it's just I'm living that memory, and Walter just feels worse and worse as the time goes on.
Good. And eventually, you guys, like, in the middle of a journey, like, you notice that you feel the caravan just, like, stop, like, suddenly stop. I'm gonna say that the caravan was being pulled by, some large, like, they're basically, like, large basilisks, sort of, but, like they're an off, like, basilisks as a species have, like, the petrifying gaze. These have, been, like, bred, that trait has been bred out of them. So basically they're just, like, large, like, flat-footed lizards who can, like, scurry across sand really, really quickly. And, like, they're not known for having very good brakes, you know? Like, they sort of, like, slide around the sort of sand. So the fact that this wagon stopped very suddenly is sort of alarming to you, because that's not the way that these sort of, work lizards work, you know? So something is clearly up here.
Anybody want to go take a peek?
Yeah, I will.
All right.
Okay, you go for it, River. You go for it.
I have a high perceptive hoopla and what have you.
Yeah, you can go. You can go do that. That's.
All right. So
I'm an expendable character.
Yeah. At the end of the day, River, I guess it's just we're just all gonna be sat on the inside if you have to disappear. But no, we're gonna keep you on for as long as we can.
Right.
So
okay.
you take a peek out of the desert, and you don't really see anything out of the ordinary. Even with your high perception, like, everything seems to just be like vast desert for as far as the eye can see.
And am I looking kind of out the front of it so I can see the lizards?
So there's no, like, it's like a canvas caravan, right? And the one that the side that we facing the lizards is just solid canvas, and the opening is in the back. So that, like, no. Okay. Yeah. So that, like the drivers.
I'm looking out the ass end.
Yeah, you're looking at the ass end of it, the caboose, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, I have nothing special to report.
It looks like if you want, like, a good view of things, you're gonna have to actually get out of the caravan to, like, take a look around.
I'll get out and peek around, see what is ahead of us.
All right. So, Contorla, you step out, and you sort of, like, look around. And the first thing that you notice is that those mounts, the lizard mounts, are gone. Like, they're not there anymore. In fact, the sudden jolt appears to be like maybe them breaking loose and just scurrying off. Because the front of the wagon is sort of, like, damaged now. It looks like they broke their bonds. Like, there's, like, leather reins sort of, like, snapped and, like, hanging down. And, like, those mounts are nowhere to be seen. Neither are the drivers. Like, the drivers also aren't there. And the more you all think about it, the more you all realize you haven't, like, heard the drivers talking in, like, a little while. And, like, at first it was like, maybe they're just kind of, like, ran out of conversation topics. I mean, you guys had quiet moments as well in the back, especially whenever Walter was, like, trying to justify how just his racist tendencies, yeah.
I think Walter's going to become a social justice warrior now. They got their office. I think
that's his goal, you know?
Yeah.
At this point, he has a new ideal. I'm very proud.
Good. But and also, like, last night, you guys just all sort of assumed that they were traveling through the night to get home sooner. But the caravan didn't stop last night either. So you guys have been traveling for pretty much two days straight now, and you haven't heard any voices outside the caravan for the better part of those 2 days.
Hey, guys, the basilisks are gone. The drivers are gone.
What?
And yeah, there's nothing inside.
What do you mean? They're just gone?
Step outside. Come on.
I step outside.
Step outside.
I'm staying inside. I feel terrible.
Just Walter still
just in there,
like,
pouting.
Walter, stay in your racist hole.
So
I don't respond.
Yeah.
I just.
So you guys all get out, and sure enough, what Controller reported is accurate. Like, there's no mounts anymore. Actually, give me like active perception checks. Just one of you, whoever wants to make the perception check. Let's do Controller. Make a perception check.
Yeah. There we go. That's 18.
18 total.
Yep.
Yeah. So you actually see like way in the distance, what looks to be like the two basilisks. We'll call them paxalisks, like pack basilisks.
Yep.
So paxalisks
Oh, no.
are like in the distance, like they're gone. Like you can see their trails, like if their tails sort of like in the sand, like they left.
I found the mounts.
But it's not magic.
No, they just like they broke free of their range and they're gone.
They're gone. Yep.
Well,
That way.
Well, how are we supposed to... We have to walk on foot now?
So I get out now,
Okay.
and I try to, and I say, some elves did Earth Genasi face. So is this like...
Walter, we're really past that right now.
Oh, hey guys,
Walter.
where'd the mounts go? Hold on.
There. That way. Behind you. Look, is in the
I
distance.
see.
Yep. They're
No,
gone.
those Paxilisks they're gone.
Yeah. So
And I'll be honest with you, I'm more concerned about the drivers because they weren't wild animals who would just jet off into the desert.
Did you see the drivers on the lizard when they were running away?
Did I see that?
no, you did not.
No. Okay. No. It was just. I was just able to see them in the distance. I mean the. Would I be able to do an investigation, see if I could
like piece
figure out
together?
how or why the deal?
Yeah,
they broke?
absolutely.
Okay. All right, that's 16.
Okay, so yeah, so you sort of you up and you look at the reins and you look at like the seat where the drivers are sitting, and like the seat where the drivers are sitting, like there's a little bit of like blood, like a little like dried blood on the seat, and like the reins are sort of like under like one of them's like sort of coiled around one of the wheels that's been dragging in the sand, and you sort of deduce that what may have happened is at some point somebody took out the drivers. And you know, a lot of mounted animals, if they don't have like the reins on them, they start to panic. And so you've been on this wild ride of like wherever the mounts were just kind of taking you until they finally broke free of their bonds and just scurried off into the distance. So there's no telling where in this desert you guys are right now.
Torlo, what are you looking at?
Good news and bad news, guys. So I figured out what happened to the drivers. Indicated by this blood on the seat.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Oh.
With how much blood there is and it's pretty dried up. They died before last night. So we've kind of just been pulled by the Paxilisks randomly, all willy-nilly, around this desert for, well, since yesterday.
Well,
would it be helpful to know north, south, east, and west?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
I feel like as a pirate, I would have the ability to figure out north, south, east, and west through navigational. You could put a stick in the ground and figure that out, right?
Yeah. Or like yeah.
Like we have the tools.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna do for you. If you will give me a, let's do an insight check. To see how like if your time on the seven seas sort of I guess there's not. Let's say there are two seas. There's the East Sea and the West Sea. And whether at the time on the two seas sort of granted you the information to in the desert navigate as well. So go ahead and give me an insight roll with advantage.
My advantage is -1, so we'll see how that goes.
So roll twice and take the higher number, right?
All right. I roll.
What was that?
Wait. Oh, you want me to roll twice and take the higher number?
Yeah.
Okay. So the higher number is 15.
And you have a -1 to invest. Insight?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Sorry,
14.
So yeah, 14.
14. Okay, cool. So here's what I'll say is that you know how like here the sun rises in the east and sets in the west because of the rotation of the Earth, and it's all a fun time, right? There are the sun is gonna go like diagonally across like this plane is like sort of how it travels around, and like the plane sort of shifts underneath the sun, like that's sort of how the celestial travel goes. So like navigating based off the sun is like extremely. You have to be extremely precise and have like astrological charts or astronomical charts rather out and like be able to like scan them on a table in order to track where the sun is relative to where you are, because it literally maps like it literally works like moving a map underneath a light. And the light just sort of focuses on the different parts of the map as it sort of slides underneath it in like a generally diagonal style pattern with slight variations as it goes. So you can be you're not quite sure because you don't have the charts underneath you like you did on the ship. But you're like 80% certain that the trail that you guys were like coming from is southwest, and that you guys are traveling north, or you guys were traveling northeast. Like I said, about 80% sure.
Anybody know where a town is?
My best guess would be to follow the animals. I feel like their instincts would probably serve them better than us just guessing.
I mean, I guess so.
Animals usually are drawn towards the forest or water, and I would really love to get back to a forest.
I wouldn't mind getting back to water.
Not a desert. Just not a desert.
Yeah, this place kind of sucks.
Yeah, and boys, there are a lot of desert.
Our green tailless friend.
So you guys all start to like, you sort of pack everything up and you shoulder your bags and you start walking in the direction of the lizards.
Is there anything worth searching in the caravan?
No,
like
literally, the caravan was entirely empty. Entirely empty. You guys had like a week to look around. They brought that caravan so that they could load shit up in it, and there was no shit to load. At the end of the day, you guys ended up being the shit that got loaded into it.
I'd like to be actively angry at everybody else for pressuring me to leave so quickly before searching the campsite for helpful stuff.
Do
I need to roll for that, or can I just be?
No, you can just be angry.
About
Please be angry by all means.
I roll to be angry.
Crit fail.
Natural
I'm
20.
glad about this. So you guys like start heading that direction, and you guys walk for what feels like days. Like the night comes, the sun rises again. You don't know how many hours you've been walking, and like eventually, like it gets to the point where like the armor that you're wearing, whether it be leather or like cloth or like scale especially, just starts to become like unbearable. Because like it's just so hot or it's so cold, and there's like no there's very few hours in between where it's like actually like an appropriate temperature.
We probably should have tore a piece of that caravan off so we could have some shade.
Kent is gonna have his scale mail off and then just have it sitting wrapped up in his bedroll and pulling it behind him.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys walk and you walk and you walk, and the horizon stays desert, and it stays desert, and there are no clouds in the sky to give you any sort of relief from this horrific spotlight-like sun that's just it always appears to be over you unless it's not there.
At least I have a wizard hat, so I do have some shade.
I have my cape, and I assume the cape came with like a collar I can pop. So
yeah, it has a collar you can pop, but no like cowl, like hood. You literally
just flip the cape over you, you know.
So you guys walk for a long time, and like it gets to the point where like you're not even sure if you're heading in like the right direction anymore. Like you lose all sense of like time and space and like navigational qualities. It all just sort of goes out the window.
Water.
Yeah, I mean, your water skins have emptied by like a couple hours ago. Like all of you, you have no backups. Like it's all just sort of gone out the door, right? And right whenever you think that you're not going to be able to go any further, like Kentorla, you're like, oh, I may have to abandon this armor. Like your scale. Like how do? Tell me, Kentorla, since you're the one who's living through this. How do Dragonborn like heat regulate? Do you guys like pant, or do you like sweat out the pads of your feet? Like how does that work?
They don't bask. We know that much.
Yeah, they don't bask.
We know that at least. Apparently, they don't bask.
It's definitely more of a like sweating out of the soles of the feet. So like while I'm walking, I'm leaving footprints of just pure sweat.
Oh, good.
Behind me.
It's like mud.
Yeah.
All right. I was just curious about that. So now we have that sort of in the lore as well. That's how you guys sweat. So you guys walk and like Walter's about to collapse. Dorvis is dying. River, like you're at this point, like you're questioning why you're even alive. And Kentorla, you're like I said, you're about to abandon that armor that you love so much. And suddenly, for like a brief moment, there's shade above you. Just some shade, you know. Like finally, the sun stops being like as bright.
I'm gonna
look get dark. Look up.
Look up.
Investigate.
And you see what appears to be a massive floating, let's say a massive floating like windmill on like a nice sort of like green pasture. Like it's just floating above you, you know, passing by.
Wait, what?
Is this Feel Good Inc? Is this something?
Are we? Is this Mirage, guys?
It might be Feel Good Inc. Yeah.
Are we in a music video?
Yeah, but it's just passing above you.
How high is this?
I'm gonna say it's probably like a quarter of a mile above you guys. Like it's pretty high up there, but not outside like signaling range.
I'm yelling. Hey, we're tired.
Hey.
Come on. We don't have water. I have a cape. Wait, I have a cape. I want to try to reflect the light from the gold line cape.
Okay, yeah. Does anybody have that? So Walter, you start trying to reflect the light. It sort of sparks the idea for everyone else. If you guys have any reflective surfaces.
That is a good question. Let's see.
I'm gonna take my 2 short swords and just start waving them around.
Okay, yeah, that works too.
I've got 2 daggers.
So you're all.
I've got a crowbar and a dagger. So
everyone's sort of like waving them around like they just don't care, even though you guys care a lot because this is literally you're about to die from heat exhaustion. I'm surprised nobody has like a small mirror or anything like that. Like that doesn't come in the burgers pack.
Guys, I have rope. No. Does everyone else have rope? We'll just grapple up there.
I have 2 different kinds of rope.
Yeah. So the difference between those is silken rope is generally a bit stronger than hempen rope is. Like I think it has a higher AC to break it, or DC to break it rather. But they both work functionally the same. Like they're rope, right?
Cool.
But the shade starts to pass by you, and then suddenly you guys like from underneath the sort of like green grass, like black like exhaust smoke sort of like starts to like belch out of it. And like if it had brakes on like tarmac, you would hear it, or on like asphalt, you hear it go like, and then like it starts beeping.
But
as
it's
it
in
goes
the
back.
air.
Yeah, but it's in the air, so you can't really do that. But it starts beeping as it goes backwards, and then like it settles back above you, and a almost like a dinky little like rope and like plank ladder sort of like unfurls, and like it's coming down. Like it's still going.
I'm very slowly, ready for it.
It's almost there. It's about halfway now. It's just going. It's unfurling. It's going.
Am I gonna die before the ladder reaches us, guys?
And after like 3 minutes of just like waiting for this ladder to fall, it finally reaches its full length and like hits the sand and sort of bounces a little bit.
I sprint for that ladder to climb up it.
So I'm gonna say that like you guys, it takes you. Who's the most athletic out of all of you? Do you think?
Not me, because I have a strength of 13.
I have +2.
I got 16. I have a +4.
Right,
but wait, where do I?
Athletics.
Where do I see?
10 plus your.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I see what my athletics is. It just says +4.
Okay, so you have a 14 passive athletics is what that means. 10 plus your modifier.
Okay.
River, you're the first one who makes it up there. You make it all the way up to the green grass. And like
terrified.
There's just like that windmill that's sitting in the middle of it. The windmill's like slowly spinning. And then I think Kentorla is gonna be the next one up there. Then Walter, and then Dorvis, you're bringing up the rear. It takes you about twice as long. But once you guys get up there, you see that there's a nice little like clear lake with a little stream running down off the side. Like there's some water.
I go to drink through that stream just immediately.
And then there's just that windmill. It has like a single door in the front of it. That's the only, and like one tree. There's like a nice green tree that's also sitting on this island that's floating in the air.
I would drink some of that water and then go chill underneath that tree.
I would drink that water and then knock on the door.
Okay, so once everyone, do you wait for everyone to get up their river, or do you knock on it like as soon as you're like rejuvenated?
I would like the dragon boy with me at least. No offense, guys.
Okay, so River and Kentorla, you guys get some water. You refresh yourselves. You fill up your water skins.
I feel like I'm distrustful enough to at least want somebody there.
Yeah. So you guys knock on the door, and from inside you hear somebody go, 1 minute. And it just, you wait for a couple minutes. Walter makes his way up. He gets his water. He sits underneath the tree. Dorvis crawls his way up as the door sort of swings open, and you see a tiny, she would be human if it weren't for the fact that her skin is like a pink, like more pink than just like someone who's flushed, like completely like blush pink all over her skin, and she has these two tiny little horns that are raising up, and then white hair that's sort of like done up into almost like a what's her name, Golden Girls, oh my god, what's her name?
Talking about Shauna? No, I think it's somebody else.
No. Oh my god, what's her name? The actor, who's in
the
Golden
Sicilian,
Girls.
the tall one.
No,
Betty White.
Betty White. Thank you, Betty White. It's who I was thinking of.
Okay.
Oh,
like
Golden
Betty White
Girls.
style.
I thought talking about the. Okay, I'll talk.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's
Betty, that's sort of what her hair looks like. She's clearly older. Her eyes are like completely black. For anybody here who's like seen a tiefling, like this is obviously a tiefling, and she has these brass goggles sort of like strapped to her forehead, and she's wearing a leather apron that has scorch marks and like scratches on it, and a little belt that has a couple of small hammers and like a pair of forceps and like a small magnifying glass and stuff like that. Like clearly somebody who does a lot of tinkering in her spare time. And she sort of opens the door. She stands like, even River, she's standing like sort of underneath your height. Like this is a short, and she's sort of like bent over, like a short, old, like apparently seemingly sweet older tiefling woman.
Hey!
Hi, ma'am. If you let down the ladder, I'd like to say thank you very much. I'd like to make sure that it's okay that we're here on your floating vehicle island.
Oh, it's no problem at all. I'm always happy to help out with anybody that I can. I'm sure the release mechanism of that ladder has already kicked into effect, and it should be coming up any second now. It's really no problem. I saw you guys wandering out here in this godforsaken desert, smack dab in the middle of it, and I just thought to myself, oh, I'm not going to be able to sleep at night unless I get these fine young gentlemen up on my island to share a cup of tea and maybe a couple of biscuits with me as we float on through to civilization.
Can I, so I finally get up to them. Can I roll insight on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll insight.
If there's anything, I'm very hesitant to trust people. Let's see. It's a 6.
Oh yeah, dude, it's an old woman. What's the worst she could do?
Yeah, whatever.
Can I roll a history check to see if I've ever heard of these just floating islands before?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Oh, there we go. That's pretty good. That's a 21.
Okay. So there are legends do speak of, and these are like old, like these are like children's stories, right? Of a master artificer, who went by the monikers of Gira, like Geara, and that Gira was this legendary figure who could sort of make anything happen with machinery, including making like entire cities fly. Is sort of what the legends say, and that's sort of ringing a bell in your head as you look at this old, like, sort of grandmotherly like figure.
I like your island.
Oh,
Are
thank
you a-
young man?
Are you a follower of Gira?
Do you believe in children's stories still, young one?
I mean,
Yes.
it's just
Here, come inside. Join me inside. I want to hear how you ended up in such a predicament. I will give you some tea and maybe some coffee if you need a little pick-me-up. Make sure you're well fed, and we're going to get you to safety.
Oh yeah, we got a story for you.
It's a doozy.
All right.
You.
What's up?
I'll go in first.
I'm walking in too.
I'll rush in.
Nice. I
I'll be
like
the
that.
last one to go in.
All right. So, do you all sort of find your way inside of this old woman's windmill?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you see that the first thing you see, of course, is like the actual mill mechanism is like constantly sort of like grinding away, except for it's at the bottom, instead of it being like an actual mill itself, like a stone that's sort of like rotating in a circle. It's a huge brass gear that's turning a bunch of like intricately and like ever smaller gears descending down like through the floor to where you can't even see it anymore. All along the wall are like almost like clockwork, steampunky sort of like almost nearing to cyberpunk and like levels of intricacy, but all of it sort of seems to be like wind powered, like little doodads and gizmos and like clocks on the wall that are like displaying all different times, with like lettering and wording that are across like the language spectrum, and even in like some fonts and like scripts that you don't even recognize, all displaying different times, and like some of them even like aren't even traditional clocks. Like you can't figure out what half of this shit is in here, but it all appears to be like very meticulously like crafted, very like expertly done, really just like exceptional handiwork from whoever this woman is. And she invites you to this table that is like constantly sort of like the middle of it is like a lazy Susan that's constantly rotating, and the outside of it is like spoked like a gear.
Ooh,
I like your blocks.
this is
Everything's
nice.
got very nice craftsmanship.
Oh, those things? They're nothing. Don't you even worry about it, dear. Let me get you some coffee.
You've made better stuff than this?
She like
This is...
River, you have something to say?
Well, I'd love to know who you are, and I'd like to know where we're all going.
Oh, me? Don't worry about me. You can just call me Mama for now.
I have
Thanks,
one
Mama.
mama. I won't. I have one mama. I don't want to call you mama. Is there anything else you go by? I mean.
I've been called Nana. I have been called...
I have a nana as well, but.
How
Mama
large is your
for-
family? What?
Oh, you see,
That's my-
I never had a family of my own, which is why I travel around on this island to meet new people and to introduce them to hospitality where they can find none other for themselves.
That's awfully nice of you.
She like goes to the wall and she like turns a couple of knobs, and like you hear like some steam get pushed through, and like a couple of cups come out, and a couple of them, like we'll say like two of them have herbal teas and two of them have like black coffee, and then one of them is like a almost like a dark red, like it looks like wine, right? And she's gonna take that one for herself, and hand out the tea to whoever wants tea, and hand out the coffee to whoever wants coffee.
Can I take my coffee and then roll like a investigative perception thing on the clocks?
On the clocks, you can roll. Yeah, roll history on the clocks. See what you can recognize up there.
All right, so I just roll a C20.
Yeah, and then add your history to it.
I will take a tea.
Okay, so Dorvis got a tea.
I'm grabbing some black coffee. No creamer, nothing. Just straight from the bean.
Nice. And that leaves River. You said you grabbed coffee or did you grab tea?
I grabbed coffee.
All right, so Contorla, you're left with other tea.
Okay.
If you want it, yeah.
No, I just wasn't gonna touch it. I'm just getting a real Hansel and Gretel vibe from this man.
Hey, are you gonna drink that? Thanks.
No,
I take the other.
All right. So Clay, what'd you end up? Or River rather, what'd you end up rolling?
7 + 1.
So
Is 8.
Yeah. So you recognize from your seafaring voyages, you recognize one of the clocks as being like a nautical clock that sort of like keeps track of where the sun is in regards to like I said the sort of
the moving map. Right.
Yeah. But that's the only one that you sort of recognize up on the wall. The rest of them sort of elude you. So you guys all are sort of sitting around this table, and Nana or Bama or Mama or whatever you choose to call her is sort of sitting at the table, like drinking her wine and like just sort of like looking at everyone, and she says, "So, does somebody want to tell me what you lovely little gentlemen were doing out in this horrible desert all this time?"
Well, many of us were there we were there because we were either forced to or didn't care otherwise.
I was taken against my will.
You see, he was forced to, and the other two with me were also forced to. I was one who didn't care otherwise. No pretense. It didn't matter to me, but I do like being alive a lot more now that you saved me. Thank you, Nana.
Let's just say we were part of a caravan of sorts. We went through a pyramid of sorts, went through a few musical numbers of sorts, and now we're here.
Yeah, I mean, if you want any specifics, please ask questions. Because it's no secret we went through this stuff.
I wasn't a part of the caravan. I got kidnapped by my enemies, and then I was, I guess, sold to that Swift guy, and now I'm here, I guess. So
that's such a weird turn of events. Did they sell you in a casket or something? Like, did they put you in a sarcophagus, or is that a later thing that happened?
I was knocked out most of the time. Every now and then I was in a cart while I was coming to, and they just knocked me right back out, and then there I was after a few times in the with you odd people.
All right.
Thanks.
Talking about musicals and my teeth and this man's beard.
And wait,
you do have nice teeth.
No,
those are some nice teeth.
Nana, look at. Do you see? Look, Nana, look at his teeth.
Nana looks and says, "Oh dear, what nice teeth you have."
Oh no.
No. Right? Better to eat good food with, right, Nana?
Oh, absolutely. And I have some great food coming out. And she goes to the wall and sort of like pulls out a pan of cookies that like are like steaming hot and like puts them on the table. It's like some biscuits for you.
Oh, I love biscuits. I just start going for it. I'm eating these biscuits.
Me too. I love
Is there any way that while her back is turned, I can investigate her red cup?
You can look at it, but like in order to do like a proper investigation, you need to like actually have it in front of you, so you need to like actually swipe it.
That
would be like a sleight of hand.
This lady's creeping me out. I'm gonna do a quick insight check to see if like I can tell if there's some under plot, because she just really freaking me out, man.
Yeah.
All right. So wait, you want me? Yeah. I'll do that. You want me to roll a sleight of hand?
Yeah, and Contorla, go ahead and roll insight.
Sorry, I got a 4 + 2.
Okay, so 6. Yeah. You like go to reach for it, and she's immediately like turned around, like almost as if she like senses something was wrong, you know?
Right.
And you just like retract your hand. What'd you get, Contorla?
I got 11.
An 11? yeah, like she honestly seems at worst like neutral towards you all. Like
Okay.
she seems pretty genuine. And
Okay.
All my barriers have dropped at this point.
I know. What horrible lives we've had.
I just want some biscuits and tea.
So like she goes to turn towards you. She goes, "Now there was something I wanted to ask you." And then at this point, the door swings open to the windmill, and you see someone carrying a bushel of apples who says, "Hey Nana, I just wanted to let you know that I got." And then you turn around, and Brooke is standing in the doorway, carrying this bushel of apples for Nana, and that's where we're going to end this session for today.
Oh man.
So, Clay, we're going to talk a little bit about what you want to happen to River now that your time with us has unfortunately come to an end. But we're going to keep the possibility open that River is going to come back and join us maybe sometime in the weeks coming. You're not permanently out of this campaign. It's just a goodbye for now.
I'm sad to go, but I'm also really creeped out by this.
Yeah, that's fair. So we have let's go ahead and say our goodbyes. One last time, let's all like say who we are and like where you can find us on social media if you want to be found, and say goodbye to the audience. Let's start with you, Chase.
All right. Hi, I'm Chase. I play Dorvis, and you can find me on Twitter at CutToTheChase9, the number 9, and you can also find me at Twitch at CutToTheChase.
All right, thank you, Chase. Vincent.
Yeah, I'm Vincent. Today I was the voice of Walter. You can find me in real life. You have to run into me. Maybe I'll give my social media tag next week. We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Vincent. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Justin, playing Kintorla. You can find me on Twitter at DDiceGaming. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Justin. And Clay, why don't you tell us, give us your outro and tell us sort of where we can find you on various things and sort of what you do.
Yeah, man. No, so I'm Clay, and it was a lot of fun being River today. You guys invite me back anytime you want. Yeah. So no, I'm an artist, and I specialize and I build puppets, sell, and operate puppets. And so I run a company with my wife called Beyond the Garage, where we like fabricate and sell puppets, and then. We're also doing a YouTube series called Ziggy and the Junkyard Band. That's about a little space alien who comes to Earth looking for Chuck Berry and gets adopted by a rock band. And yeah, that's all you need to know. But so if you look up, you look up Beyond the Garage or Ziggy and the Junkyard Band on Instagram or Facebook or the YouTubes. That's where I can be found.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, Clay. We really appreciate it. Like I said, I look forward to when we get to have you on again. Next week, we will try to have a different guest artist, and hopefully all of our regulars will be here. Otherwise, I just introduced Brooke back in here for no reason. But thank you, everyone who watched today. Thank you for everyone who gave suggestions. We really appreciate it. We're going to try to stream every Sunday. Time is sort of variable right now for streams, but our podcast is going to be live on iTunes and Spotify. It's going to be the final rule. You should be able to find us on both of those starting, I believe, now. We should be up on both of them. I know for a fact we're at least up on Spotify. We're probably up on iTunes as well. And that should be releasing every Sunday at 5 p.m. So this episode will release next Sunday at 5 p.m. on those. So thank you, everybody who watched. We really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who's listening on the podcast. Watching the VOD, all of that good stuff. You guys were great. We do this for you, and also because it's fun. So, hey, everybody, let's say goodbye. Bye.
Bye. See ya.
And...